Legendary samurai? From ancient Japan? What's good? Gamers reject, quote, Assassin's Creed Shadows, unquote, Vogue pandering. Says Rev Says Desu. This cat born under the TIEEE 3-star sign will react to that. Let's go find out what's good.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So yesterday we got the official world premiere trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and a lot of people have been talking about this, mainly criticizing a lot of aspects of this trailer. So you can see right here on YouTube, it has reached over 300,000.
I feel like this guy's facial shape is just too much like some typical US citizen. That's how I feel about it. Every time I saw this guy's face, I'm like, yeah, if he was chewing more, his face would be wider. His cheeks and stuff, his mouth. It would be more forward and wider. Alright? Like, so if you want to be historically accurate, make him look like less like he got the narrow jaw, but more like a wide jaw. That's, but that's just my pet peeve. I'm actually not that concerned about that ultimately.
Dislikes and has a like-dislike ratio around 30 or 40%. It's not very good, and there is a long list of reasons as to why people are criticizing this trailer. And let's begin with the most talked about point, and is the choice of the main characters. Now, there are two main characters, and remember, as stated right here, this takes place in feudal Japan, and yet the main characters are a woman and a black man. That just seems like a very odd thing for a setting in feudal Japan.
But if it's done well, nobody would care.
A lot of people were expecting, at the very least, a Japanese set of main characters, but that's not what they got. Instead, they got the character based on a real person called Yasuke, okay? So looking into this character, we've seen other people try to raise whataboutisms, saying when Shogun came out, they're asking, where is Yasuke, the first Japanese samurai? And people, of course, were getting their historical timelines wrong in that case. But here, we see them claiming that Yasuke is a samurai, when that is not true and is not supported by any historical evidence. You can see from a quick search that he was a servant and a retainer. This was not something that was considered a samurai, so people constantly trying to claim that have been wrong, and it's been a big point of misinformation for months now. And also on that Wikipedia page, people are fighting for their lives to revise and re-revise this page over and over again.
Wikipedia, all about the secondary sources, which is the news site, so it's like this is the result you get if you're all about the secondary sources.
To try to label Yasuke as something that he is not, and of course that shouldn't surprise you because a lot of the people defending and supporting this choice of a main character are relying on...
Yeah, because everyone has their own favorite secondary sources that disagree with each other. And it's not even the experts disagreeing with each other. It's like a layer removed from the actual conversation you might want to incorporate into an article. I tell people to go listen to the experts all the time. Plenty of experts on YouTube and on blogs and stuff. And yeah, they have their own blogs, right? I mean, anyway. And yeah, they do disagree too. And in a perfect world, the news sites, they would do the job for you of figuring out what is correct with the experts, which experts are correct. But it's like, that's not the world we live in, unfortunately.
Historical accuracy that is not there. So they are quite literally trying to change history to support their own narrative and how they support this choice of a main character. Now, going forward, again, the whataboutisms continue. A lot of people are pointing out that, well, okay, in previous Assassin's Creed games, we had a game set in Italy. You played as an Italian man. Game set in France, played as a Frenchman. And a game set in America, you played as a Native American man, and so on and so forth. So people bring out Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and they're like, wait a second, this game was set in the Caribbean, and you play as a Welshman. Again, quick Google search will show you that most pirates of that era were of Welsh or European descent, so that doesn't really work. Now, people moved on to a different argument, saying a double standard. If you are criticizing Assassin's Creed Shadows, then you also should have been criticizing the game Neo. And you can see right here a large post with 31,000 likes saying everyone complaining about Assassin's Creed Shadows having a black samurai also had a problem with this rights, and it's of course a white samurai, but the difference is this was a historically accurate representation.
I'm not sure that's the difference. Is Neo a new franchise or an old franchise with a track record? what do people expect? It looks like Neo kind of knew, right? I mean, I know there's Neo and there's Neo 2, and that's it. But Assassin's Creed, they had historically accurate-ish protags all the time. So maybe that's more of a problem. You can do whatever you want. And by the way, I'm not sure that's historically accurate. Why is he blonde? That's not gray hair, that's blonde. But yeah.
Of this person in history, unlike how they're trying to portray falsely Yasuke as a samurai when he was simply a retainer. In this case, you have William Adams. This is the person that Neo is based on. And you can see he arrived in Japan in around the year 1600 and would achieve nobility and a lot of respect and would eventually be named a samurai. He was actually a samurai.
Oh, so it's about the samurai thing. I was about the hair color more than anything. Who cares about if you're a samurai or not? Nobody would have cared about this guy not being a samurai, being a samurai, if they weren't so insistent that he was a samurai. Like, is the product good? It doesn't matter then if he's a samurai or no. Is it living up to the history of the game franchise? No, I mean that's a problem in its own right. But also, the company can just be like, yeah, we changed it because we wanted to. Deal with it. It's a great game. Play our game. Right? They could do that, but they're not doing that. They make it about playing around with trolls on the internet, right? I mean, right? And so you get a lot of real people in there who are gonna be mad at the company for not selling the product first. Like, why is the company not about the company product, but like about like, oh, we are right about history now. It's just nobody cares until the company make a huge mess out of it. In a way, again, we have a great product. Go play it. It's like, no, why not like that? Come on.
Right, unlike Yasuke. And moving forward, you're probably asking yourself, how did this happen? Why are they pushing this so hard? Well, it makes a lot of sense when you start digging into the people who are responsible for this game. So here you have an individual named Alyssa. They are always named Alyssa for some reason, saying, I'm beaming with pride and so excited for our team to debut Naoe and Yasuke into the world. So let's see who this is. This is the lead writer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, a white woman trying to rewrite Japanese history here.
Okay.
Very surprising. And if you look at the accounts that she's following, what do we have here?
Ooh.
Sweet Baby Inc.
Ooh.
It always comes back to Sweet Baby Inc., the woke consulting firm that is responsible for trashing.
Yeah, it's a bad sign when the person is like, we're so proud of the characters, and I think, dude, why not be proud of the game? I mean, I guess they are the story writers, but like, why not be proud of the story? Like, did you craft an enticing narrative of intrigues and twists and turns? And like, there's so many good things you can say about the story you wrote, not like, we do representation, like we do representation. It's like something we do. It's like, I'm not against representation, but I also don't care for it personally. I don't really know what it does. I haven't really heard a good argument besides like, oh, it's like really important. And okay, I mean, again, I'm not for it, I'm not against it, but it's not a pitch. It's like, it doesn't make the product better or worse as far as I can tell. And I mean, hey, feel free to tell me in the comments, what are the experts on the topic? What is the argument for representation being such an important thing? I would like to hear that argument. That would be interesting.
Countless games at this point, and if you look at their list of clients on their website, ding, 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 here you go, you got Ubisoft, and that is the company behind Assassin's Creed. So it shouldn't be too surprising what's going on here, and just like any other product of Sweet Baby Inc., it's getting the defense of game journalists like these from The Gamer, writing this article saying Assassin's Creed Shadows is already being called woke and disrespectful. So reading the article, they say this: that means Assassin's Creed Shadows will center around a woman and a black man, and some people on social media have reacted with exactly the kind of behavior we have come to expect nowadays when a protagonist isn't a straight white man.
So I have a problem with this picture down here. This picture is like, why is there a ninja right next to like an army general? What happened here? Like, why is he in full army general uniform? Like, what happened there? Like, is he gonna like charge into battle with a ninja right next to him? It's just, it makes no sense. This picture, he's like, what happened here? What went wrong?
Of course, in other Assassin's Creed games, people were celebrating an Arab man and a Native American man and so on and so forth, but they are just completely missing the point, and that is entirely intentional. The reason...
And like, if they didn't put clownish stuff like that together, people wouldn't care as much, A, and B, again, as we said earlier, if the company was just like, play our game, it's a great game, then people would also care a lot less about it.
People are upset about this choice, this set of main characters for this game, is that it feels like pandering. It feels like pandering to anyone who's looking at this objectively, okay? And you see a lot of people making posts.
Yeah, of course.
On other comments dealing with Neo here, where this individual says, Assassin's Creed Shadows is pure pandering. Yasuke was never a samurai, and it's disrespectful that every single AC game had characters that culturally fit, but as soon as we get to Japan, you gotta make it about a black man and his experience. Stop it. And of course, this was a post made by a black man. And we would see more black men make comments like this saying, Connor is Native American. We loved his story, and he's one of my favorites. It's almost like there's a actual reason people are upset, but you know, internet is gonna internet. And now we're gonna listen to a bit of this clip right here coming from Keita. This is a very good clip talking about what's going on here and what they're trying to accomplish by having Yasuke as the main character of this game. And it's pretty obvious what it is. It's pandering.
All these kind of different people they could have picked from. They picked Yasuke. Why do they pick Yasuke? Because he's black. So in context, that doesn't matter to me. Because in all the Assassin's Creed games, every single character has been of some kind of different race and nationality. So that doesn't matter to me. That's fine. But you have to understand what day and age we're in. You have to understand the kind of social shit that they want to try to get across in these video games now. So instead of using a Japanese man in a game based in Japan, like they did with the other Assassin's Creed games, Altair, he was an Arab, obviously. One of my favorites, Connor, in Assassin's Creed 3, he was Native American, that was fine. And the most famous of them all, Ezio Auditore, who was Italian. So why in all those games would you have a character representative of the region they're from? But in this game, you want to demote a Japanese man and then use Yasuke. I understand why, we know why, but they're not going to tell you why, because if you call it out, you're some kind of ist or phobe or whatever. And since I'm black and I'm calling it out, that means that I must hate my skin or something. You know how they do. I just see this and my immediate thought is they did this for brownie points. I can't think of any other reason why you would have a Assassin's Creed game based in Japan, which we've been clamoring for since the beginning of Assassin's Creed, and then have the main protagonist that is a male be black. I see that and I'm like, there's no other reason than I want claps for it. There's no other reason. This doesn't make any sense to me. It's stupid. I know exactly why you're doing it. I see straight through it. It's annoying. It's pandering. It doesn't do anything for me but piss me off.
So
it is a bold move to move away from characters that are plausible, most plausible in their games to this. It's clearly pandering. So you can use it as a heuristic to be like, the game, they probably got some problems going on if this is what they do, and they aren't leaning into it in a way like, in the sense of, okay, yeah, we do this because we like pandering, and then we also have a great game here, so deal with it because we have a great game.
As expected with Twitter and the progressive people on there, when they saw a black man criticizing the choice of Yasuke as one of the main characters and the labeling of him as a samurai, they were up to their usual nonsense, attacking him and saying all kinds of terrible things in the replies. But overall, a lot of people are supporting his message, and I think it's a very good one. But you might be asking yourself too, what is the reaction of people from Japan? How are they viewing this situation? Well, as pointed out by many people, they are quite confused. A lot of the comments and the reviews and reactions of people from Japan are that of confusion. They don't understand these choices for the main characters. And here's some comments on the trailer released in Japan. You can see comments translated, of course, saying this. Up until now, the main characters have been the original local races and ethnic groups, but why did they become different races when it comes to Japan? Why did they go out of their way to use black people even though it's set in Japan? If they wanted to use black people, they could have just changed the setting, but it's too mysterious. And then down here...
It's too mysterious, yeah. It's classic Japanese way to put things, I love it. But yeah, it's just like... Of course, the Japanese people are gonna be like mega confused about this one. Like, where's the game with Japanese project? Is there gonna be a second one about Japan? Where you're gonna get a Japanese project? I don't know.
This user says, if you release a work with a Japanese protagonist in an African setting in the future, I will forgive you. And here's another one saying, for the
And I would love to see that. I would love to see that one.
first time, I understand what cultural appropriation was. And here's some more comments from Twitter. This user saying, a game where black people massacre Japanese people in the Sengoku period is a perfect example of Ubi. Is this what happens when political correctness is taken to the extreme? This user also saying the sword is in the wrong position. It's no good to have it open at your side. I wanted Yasuke to appear as an ally. Are they mocking Japan? They should have just made someone like Saizo Kirigakure as an assassin. And people saying it's a bit disappointing. I wanted to play as a Japanese ninja. It's my favorite game since I started with Syndicate, and I have played everything, so this is sad. I don't think there are any Japanese people supervising with architecture. It's Chinese and filled with lanterns, torii gates, and paper lanterns, so it doesn't feel like this. I think the Shogun stands out after the good examples in the drama. So I think this point up here about Yasuke potentially being like a side character, an ally in this game, I think that's what people might have expected, and I think it would have been a really cool thing.
I respect how they do point to the quality. Even though it's not nice to the Japanese audience to do this, they would still play it if it was a good game.
To happen, but to make him again as one of the two main protagonists in feudal Japan, it just seems a bit odd. And again, like I said, they're relying on historical accuracy to buffer their arguments, but it doesn't work out when they falsely claim that he is a...
Yeah, it's just an L out of the gate. If your argument is gonna be historic accuracy, you're making a game. Okay, your argument is like, we don't give a fuck. This is a great game. Go play it. That's the only argument you can make, actually. Not looking great so far. It's not looking great. They're definitely mishandling the public relations here.
Samurai when he was not. And going forward, if you're an Asian person trying to complain about this, don't go to Reddit, because you're not going to be supported anyway. So we have this person leaving a comment saying, any other Asian people disappointed that we don't get an Asian male main character? This person would be banned. Yes.
Whoa.
You can't even express your disappointment in the choice of these main characters. Now,
Amazing.
going forward, all of this drama, all of these complaints about this game, and here's the price. The standard edition, of course, being $70, but the ultimate edition, a cool $130. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to shill out $130 to play this ultimate edition? You might have also noticed there is 4 choices here. Which one do you think they are trying to lean you towards? Which one, do you have any idea which one they want you to pick out of
Number 4.
those 4 options? Or maybe it's the one with the giant blue border around it, directing you to pay a monthly payment instead of an upfront cost.
I mean, I would get that one and also make sure I unsub on the day I get it. Just to play the game for a couple of weeks, and then I won't have a subscription I don't want. I know how they do it. They be like, make it really hard to get out of the subscription, so you gotta do it on the first day pretty much, right? Or you forget, right? So you got the... Like, this is a very basic marketing. You get the sub, and then you forget to unsub. I love that they give you an $18 deal, and they bet on you, like, keeping this thing going for a year, and then you paid more than the Ultimate Edition straight up, right? So you got the, you better cancel that stuff quick.
Like with the other bundles. So yeah, that's what they're trying to do to milk extra money out of you, but that's not surprising. And what's also not surprising is the crash. So Ubisoft stock has crashed as the European markets have opened. A big drop. This is like an any color stock kind of drop right here.
Yeah.
But you know what? You reap what you sow. This has been a terrible set of
It's obviously poor marketing.
looks for Ubisoft here. And it's not too surprising that it's having repercussions. Again, people speak with your wallets, speak with your choices.
I'm thinking, though, this marketing business is not permanent. And they are pushing that sub on you. So, there's going to be plenty people who don't know any better who are going to get the sub and then don't unsub instantly. And they're going to be around for years and years, potentially. They're paying Ubisoft, right? So it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is like an opportunity to get some Ubisoft stock. I don't know. I'm thinking. Although, probably good to wait and see if the game is going to be a decent game. At least maybe a good game, And so since we're pretty much at the end of the vid anyway, I'll just tell you go like and all the good stuff. The vid over on Rev's side, I will link it below. Go like, comment, share, and subscribe over here and all the good stuff. And yeah, you can get ahead for yourself. Think about it from that lens too. I'm just saying, I hope you stay safe out there. Good care of your health and all the other things. And have a good one. Meow.